Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of All the Mods 10. Today me and Ivy are in a forest. But actually, just kidding, we're right next to base. I've built a little bit of a forest here with a variety of vanilla trees. Today we're going to tackle a mod that I've kind of been ignoring. This crystal staff is the thing we need, so I want to create this. I don't actually really know how this mod works, so I'm kind of winging it. I know that the very first thing we want to do is make this bark knife. So here's a bark knife. And we should be able to right click on our trees like this. There's a different bark for most of these trees, so my knife's already broken. I have no clue how much of this I need, but at this point I've gathered quite a lot. And if we need more, we'll just make more. Alright, back to base. So looking at this recipe, it looks like we need to make a casting altar, and then we need to make some sort of structure. This is kind of hard to see, but it's like, I think it's like the altar in the middle, and then some sort of pedestal around it, and then some sort of other pedestal around it. Before we get too far though, I've gone by the base, just on this split path that I had already created. I've expanded this out a little bit. I do have a few gravestones here with no, I haven't done anything with them. But if we follow this path, I have a nice little flat area amongst the trees that I should be able to use to have this ritual, whatever this looks like. I think in the center here, this is the thing that actually goes in the center. And then put the brazier around it. And then I think from here, just following the looks of this, it's like 2 blocks out. So 1, 2, and then here. Okay. So that looks correct. And then one of these tall ones nearby. I think that looks fine. Oh, okay. This is way simpler than I thought it would be. But there's a little bit of a side tangent I need to go on. There's this Runic tablet you can create. I created this a little while ago trying to figure out how stuff works. It like has guides on how you can find stuff. Verdant Sprigs, we need 1 of. I already have some in the inventory, but this item is kind of hard other than the bark that we got. So we have a chance of finding it when harvesting fully grown crops of all kinds. Oh, Ivy's still around. So here's some wheat. It's starting to rain, but it's fine. I'm going to keep doing this until I get, hopefully, a verdant sprig. That's unlucky. Luckily, we have way more of this. Oh, there we go. Did not take that one. So you can get it. It's just kind of rare. I'm going to farm this for a little bit. I did end up getting a total of 37, so that includes the, like, 8 that I already had. Let me grab some of these materials. If we look at this, these items that are under fire go in the braziers in the middle, and then these 3 items will go inside the casting altar by right-clicking. So there's that. Add each of these items to the center braziers, and then I think the last thing is you just need to light this up, and then you may need to right-click it with an open hand, or shift right-click. There it goes. Ritual started. Oh, that looks pretty cool. Even these standing stones are flashing lights. And then here's our crystal staff. That's all we need. Creating that creates this item we can now use to craft a black hole. Kind of crazy that you go from nature into black hole, huh? 1 second you're creating trees, and then the next you're holding a black hole in your hand. I don't think there's anything else from this mod that we need, so let's jump into the next thing, I guess. Almost forgot the most important step. Before we move on, here's the black hole on the item frame. So I've been AFK for a little while. Here's a wandering trader. This isn't important like right now. I guess maybe it will be depending on when I edit this. But this wandering trader is selling an artisan relic, and this item is necessary, I think, for some of the stuff we need for later. Yeah, so this is such a lucky find right now, and we get 2 of them. That's amazing. Thank you, wandering trader. So we are once again over here where we're doing the immersive engineering things. I've created a wireless connector here, and I have it connected and linked into the main system. Our next goal is to get into create, because I don't think I want to get into modern industrialization. We'll just skip that and go straight into making a precision mechanism. There's 2 items we need, a blaze burner and a mechanical arm. The blaze burner is really easy. This we can craft now. We can capture blazes without an issue. The mechanical arm is a little bit more complicated because of the precision mechanism. We need to craft this item with a little bit of automation. I'm going to use a few different items here. We're going to automate the precision mechanism. We're going to use a shaft, 3 deployers, a mechanical belt, dimensional chest, brass funnel. We're going to use some smart cables. We're going to use a few export buses with crafting cards. This is a 3-step process, but you have to repeat this 5 times, as that's what this means. So step 1, use a cogwheel. Step 2, use a large cogwheel. Step 3, use an iron nugget. And then you put a gold plate, let it do its thing, and you do this 5 times, and on the 5th try, you have an 80% chance of getting a precision mechanism. You can get some other junk though, so we need to be a little bit careful of that. I'm going to start off by putting down our belt. So here's some space for us to work with. Here's a dimensional chest. I'm going to put down in the center here, it doesn't really matter where, our 3 deployers. At the end here, I'm going to put down another dimensional chest, and over here, 1 block away, so 1 block away from this, I'll have another dimensional chest. Inside of this dimensional chest, we want to put the brass funnel that we just made. Because I don't want things to get super overly crowded, I'm just going to put andesite funnels on each of these sides. Should be fine. I'm going to attach to each of these deployers the extended import bus. Inside of each of these export buses, I'm going to give them crafting cards. And then on the very first one, so going from this side, which when we're facing it this way is left to right, this first one, I want to have the first item in this recipe, so cogwheel, then a large cogwheel, then an iron nugget. Should also be mentioned that I also have the recipes for these items somewhere in my system with pattern providers. So we should now be getting these items in some quantity. Last step for us here is to add a pattern provider here. And I do want to create a pattern here without the cogwheels. And something that's important to keep in mind is that this only has an 80% chance. So 8 out of every 10 gold plates that we throw into the system will come out correct. And the other 20% will be some other garbage that we don't really care about. The way you adjust this pattern is you middle mouse click the gold plate, and then you can tell it, I want to give this machine 10 gold plates, and I am expecting to receive 6 precision mechanisms. And I'm going to go with 6 instead of 8 is because it's just not guaranteed. There's still a chance that if I throw in 10 that I'll get 7 or that I'll get 6 only. So in case that I get to 20% twice in a row, which if you know stats a little bit, it is. So it's like 4% chance of that happening. If that happens, then GG. For your recipe, you'll be stuck forever. I'll throw it in here, and I'm going to do something interesting in that I'm just going to lock crafting output. And then this probably should just be, now that I'm thinking about it, I just use 2 entangle blocks. Yeah, I don't need dimensional chests. This could be any chest. To the pattern provider goes the barrel. I entangle the barrel to this entangle block. I'm going to entangle the pattern provider to this output over here. And that should be good. How do I provide rotation to this? I don't know. And I need to move stuff around. Yeah, so on top here, I've just switched out the cables from the side to the top so that I can actually give it rotational power. And then here is some cogs going into the belt. So we can just use the same rotational power out of it. I learned a pretty cool trick while watching YouTube the other day. I have here my water wheel, and I'm giving it some rotational power to go into our belt. And I do want to double this a few times so that we can get the speed upgrades, but if we put a cog here, it will just instantly break. The trick I learned is that if you use a casing on a cog like this over here will continue to spin, but now we should be able to freely place our cog on here, meaning that we can now encase this and then put a large one right here and still have it spinning even faster than it was before. We now have this overstressed, which is perfectly fine. Yeah, it's kind of overkill. I did like 5 windmills here. Now this is moving pretty quickly, and it's going in the direction we want it to. Oh no, it's not, never mind. After a little bit of rewiring, we've got it connected. I've also added to the chain drives an adjustable chain gear shift. Pretty much what this does is if you look at the speed that that's going, we can see that that belt is moving at a specific speed. And if I right click this, it should double the speed even more. So we've now doubled it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So that's pretty quick. Oh, but we're still going the wrong way. We now have something that looks correct to me. We'll go into the system and request this precision mechanism here. it'll start bringing out these precision mechanisms. Yeah, so we'll see it starts to do its work on these precision mechanisms, and if we look at them here, it'll tell us what the progress is. So slowly but surely they will become more complete until it will either give us a full precision mechanism like the one we just saw pass by right there. All we have to do is use a list filter. We'll add our precision mechanism into it, and this is the deny. We want to deny that from going into our system. So in here, we'll deny it, and they'll start going into our system. There's the 6. Oh, and we got lucky. We got 7 this time. Like I said, we sent in 10 gold plates. We only got 7 instead of 8. But this automation is done. We should now be able to craft a mechanical arm. Which honestly, we didn't really need automation for it. But, you know, if you can have it, why not, right? That being said, we're already over time with this episode, so don't want to take up any more time. So thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.